What's up, everybody? It's the Fantasy Dads here with you on a beautiful Tuesday night. Here with my boy Smirks Davis. Some know him as Kevin Giroux, the Kangaroo, the Marsupial. How you doing, Kev?
Marsupial himself. I'm fantastic, man. We got the socks on in the background. Nice crispy day outside. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Getting into it, man. Week 7 already.
Dude, why does it go faster every single year?
You know why? Because we're old.
Is that why? Does just everything go fast? I'm still trying to get over 2020 and 2022 is right up the butt crack. it's getting close, man. Yeah. It's rough.
It gets worse and worse.
What's that?
It just gets worse and worse, man, as we go.
Yeah, that's fair. How'd you do this weekend, overall, fantasy wise?
I want to say 3-3.
Not bad.
Probably one of the better weeks, honestly. It's been a tough year.
Yeah,
it's been well documented.
I had my best weekend this weekend. Smashed 6-1. I went 6-1. Yeah, it was by far the best weekend I've had. Overall, I think between my 7 leagues, I'm 23-19. So it's been a rough go. It's that's after a 6-1 weekend. So it's been a rough go. Definitely took a lot of stock in some people maybe I shouldn't have, but that just happens, right? Like you want to draft differently, but every single draft you go into, kind of look at the same guys. But
Calvin Ridley and Brandon Ayuk, amongst others.
That hurts.
I feel that.
That hurts. Yeah, no, I mean, Rhino probably was the one guy who, like, no matter where he was in the draft in the first 3 picks, took Derrick Henry. So that was like a fantastic call. Well done, Rhino. But yeah, so shit, it was a good weekend, man. I'm excited for week 7, although it is the bipocalypse. And we have absolutely
apocalypse has happened.
Tons of injuries, Kev. Tons of injuries. Lots of stuff going on. First and foremost, if you guys are here with us, please hit that like button. Smash that share button. It really helps us out. You can be embarrassed all you want that you listen to a couple of random dudes sitting in their extra bedrooms, but listen, it helps us out. So share the shit. All right, Kev, let's get right into it. So we're going to go over the news and injuries. There's a couple of big ones. We're going to get into our waiver priorities this week, more so than others, is huge. 6 teams on a bye, and some of them are big, right? Dallas, who's it? Buffalo. Buffalo has one this weekend.
Minnesota, right?
Yeah, Minnesota. It's all over the place. Yeah, it's just a massive week for buys. So, let's get into it first, Kev. Let's get through the injuries, and then we'll continue on to the important stuff.
Yeah, between these injuries and those bye weeks, it's a patchwork kind of week.
Yes,
it is. Some of these lineups, but we'll start with the big ones. Nick Chubb ruled out again with his calf injury. He hasn't been placed on the IR yet. Really no timetable, so he may be able to come back next week. Whereas Kareem Hunt, the other stud running back in Cleveland, was moved to the IR immediately. Also a calf injury. He's guaranteed to miss at least 3 weeks. That's not good. Not good for the Browns. It's not good for fantasy. Who else we got? Odell did not practice Tuesday. He's got a shoulder issue. Not sure how much it really matters anyway. Not a huge part for fantasy. He's not useful. Traquan Smith has been designated to return for the New Orleans Saints. Any kind of weapon for Jameis Winston would be great right now. Paris Campbell to the IR, serious foot injury. This is every year. Every single year this happens to him. So
nothing new.
Nothing new at all. Kadarius Toney ankle, expected to be out at least 1 game. They said he just aggravated what he already had going into this game. He was going to eat too. He had 3 catches for 36 yards immediately, and then down he went. Baker Mayfield expects to play Thursday night through whatever he's dealing with. Torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder. He's been dealing with it all year, I guess. If he takes another couple big shots where he lands on that shoulder, I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to go.
Well, he's going to need surgery regardless for that shoulder in the off season. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. Julio Jones, day to day, his hammies are falling off the bone. He's done. He's done, bro. I got him in Dynasty.
It's not good.
Was not able to sell him. It's gonna be a sad day when you have to hit drop on Julio Jones. That's rough.
Can't do it yet, but if you're in a redraft 10-team league, like at this point, you're probably considering it.
Can. Especially with this situation we got this week, where half of people's rosters are just gone.
Right.
Dawson Knox broke his hand before he threw the 2-point conversion. Josh Allen said, "Nah, don't do it," and he said, "I'm going to do it anyway." And he threw it with a broken hand. Dedication from Dawson's Creek. They got a bye though, so he might be all right. We're not sure how much time he'll miss yet. Russell Gage, Calvin Ridley returned to practice for the Falcons. Great, awesome. Missing Calvin Ridley for 2 weeks, not good. Tyrod Taylor, unsure of his Week 7 status. With the way Mills has been playing, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing anyway. I mean, they're losing games, but Davis Mills is balling out.
He is, though. But it's amazing. Like, are we that far away from the Bills? Like, I guess we are, aren't we? Like, the other week when they got smashed, like, and he didn't put up a single point, like, we're bad.
I gotta be fair. He was in Buffalo in some serious weather conditions.
That's true. That's fair.
And we went into Houston, but yeah, I will say I don't think we're particularly close to Buffalo.
It's just not good.
We'll say that.
It's just not good.
Say that. I don't know, man. Like you saw on Sunday, we play up to our competition. We play down to our competition.
Fair.
Well, when it was Houston. Maybe not when it was the Jets, but I don't know. It's been a confusing year all around. Michael Thomas, a few weeks away is what they're saying. He's eligible to come off the pup, a few weeks away. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Jerry Jeudy, less than 50% chance to return Week 7. That's fantastic.
That's fine. I think we kind of figured that, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, on a Thursday. He wouldn't come back on a Thursday. My guess, he comes back next week, and I would probably slot him right into your wide receiver 2 or flex spot. He was having a great game, high target volume right before he got hurt. Jimmy G back to practice. Trey Lance is not. So my guess is Kyle Shanahan's going right back to the well with Jimmy Garoppolo. And we'll see how that. I wonder if Brandon Ayuk's out of the doghouse yet after the bye week. Antonio Gibson had an MRI on his lower leg. He's already got like a broken leg, so it's not looking good for him. He's got the fracture on his leg, and now this was a calf injury, I believe, so it's not good. Even if he keeps trying to play through it, he's not going to do what you needed him to do. Maybe we should have sold him everywhere a few weeks ago. Rashad Penny to be activated, and Alex Collins has a chance to play through his hip injury. But the Penny one is interesting because he, in like 3 years now, never been able to stay healthy. Could this be his chance to actually lead that backfield? Dak Prescott, calf strain. Why is everybody straining their calf?
I don't. Right now. Well, it was the ribs calf? A few weeks ago. It was the ribs. Now it's the calf. I don't understand.
Why is everybody's calves fucked up? It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's the water.
Something, dude. Something in the NFL has got these calves bugging out. They need some better cleats or something, Absolutely. Dude. Something going on here, dude.
They got some Starburys on, bro.
I don't know what's going on, but he's got a bye week too. He's gonna be fine. Latavius Murray ankle. I'm not sure if he's gonna miss time, but he is probably like the 4th best running back on the roster. They just keep giving him carries because why not?
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton left the game with a quad. His first game back. They're saying he should be all right, but it's T.Y. Hilton. He's getting old. Any injury can linger with him, so we'll wait and see on that. I'm not sure how many people would be starting him, but with this week, with the way rosters look, maybe we're planning on it. Just monitor that situation.
Yeah.
That's all I got on my list, Moose. Did I miss anybody?
No, not that I know of. Nope. No, I think we just about covered it all.
Hammered it home.
Yeah, I think so. I think you did. It's a worrisome week. We did get a question from Rhino. He's running the stream from where he is. He said QB stream of the week. I'll go first, and it's gonna sound crazy, man, but you know what? I just went and started Taylor Heineke, and he blew it. So I'm not gonna be afraid to take a chance. I have, you gotta think about it, dude. The bye week this week. I mean, 6 teams. We got the Bills, Cowboys, Jaguars, Chargers, Vikings, Steelers. There's 4 teams right there that have startable QBs week in and week out. You got Josh Allen, you got Dak Prescott. Some people are even out there starting Trevor Lawrence, so I guess you can sort of count that. You got Justin Herbert and you got Kirk Cousins. There's going to be a lot of guys looking to stream a QB this week if they didn't draft a second guy like a Joe Burrow or even a Matthew Stafford in later rounds. So there's definitely streamable options. For me, it's Matt Ryan. I know it sounds crazy. The guy's old as shit. He hasn't been fantastic, but in the last 2 weeks, he finished as the QB3 against what was supposed to be a strong Washington defense. And then he finished the quarterback 12 against the Jets last week. And I know that doesn't seem great, but the Jets have actually been really good against the QB this year. The defense is like top 5 against QB. It's like good. I don't understand it. They've played some shit teams, so maybe that could equate to it. But he had a bye week last week, and they're going out to play Miami, and Miami's defense is trash, man. I mean, I don't understand what happened to them. They went from being the second best third down defense last year to being the worst in the league. If you don't think Matt Ryan can get a couple of third downs against his team, a couple of big plays, they're coming off a bye week. Calvin Ridley's going through some personal issues, so he's going to be coming back, and he's going to be motivated. Never mind, Kyle Pitts showed up against the Jets. So I'm highly confident that Matt Ryan can at least get you through a week. Am I going to start him in any leagues? Not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. But I can tell you what, I started Heineke in 2 leagues, and I'm not going to do it again. So Matt Ryan's there.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't. And you know what? To be fair, if you're streaming quarterbacks, it's kind of like a 50-50 either way. You're either going to get a really good day or you're not. Like, that's how I think about it. So Michelangelo's here. Mike, what's up, buddy? Good to see you last night. He said Tua, QB stream of the week. Why don't you decipher that, Kev, and then give us your pick?
All right. Well, first, I was going to say I kind of agree with Matt Ryan. And then I was going to say mine was going to be Tua because the Falcons defense is also trash. But then I remembered this team, they just went out to London, took a huge L from the worst team in football.
Yeah.
Now they got to fly back. They don't get a bye week. And they have to play a team coming off a bye. Yeah. But it's well rested. So no, I don't think I want Tua.
Okay.
I don't like that setup for them. They're the only team to go to London and not have a bye the next week. Doesn't seem like much sense.
You said that today. Yeah, that's crazy.
How is that fair? Why did the Jags get a bye this week? Why did the Falcons and Jets both get a bye last week? The Dolphins have to come back and play a game. It seems a little messed up for the NFL to do that, but
they're trying to keep Tua down, man. They're trying to keep him down, man.
Gross. Gross anyway.
Yeah, that is gross. Yeah, you would have been right though. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment of what Tua's running into, like, because Atlanta's defense does suck, and Tua just had a fairly good day with one of his receivers. And Gesicki's an absolute beast right now. We'll talk a little bit about him, but if you see on the left of our stream, we have the fantasy leaders through 6 weeks right now, and in tight ends, Mike Gesicki's the number 8. So that's significant, and it's really good. So, yeah.
I like the matchup on paper. It might look good. If you absolutely have to slot him in, I just really don't like the setup where they got to go out to London and then fly back to a rested team. I don't know. That kind of shit doesn't usually end well. So I guess I'm going to pivot and I'm going to go to Mac Jones. He just played some inspired football against a
Wow.
good football team, and I think we're fucking sick of losing. He's been good. They kind of let the training wheels off. He's been fine. He's not the problem right now. So why not? Against the Jets, we should be able to move the ball with ease. So if you need to, I think you can use him this week.
Okay. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go out there and start Mac Jones. I have an issue with starting most Patriots players in general. Like, I didn't pick up Tua. Damian Harris is different because he's an RB2. And he might be a sell high at this point. We can discuss that later. But I still have to trust him as an RB2 in like 3 or 4 of my leagues because I have damn Myles Gaskin sitting there like a good for nothing punk. Yeah. All right. So Mac Jones. Okay. Yeah, I can't do that. Did someone just hit a home run?
Sure did.
Who was that? Was that Z?
It may have been
Oh my God, they got Greinke out there. How old is Greinke now, dude?
He's got to be like 40.
Oh my God, I remember back in the day. Oh, he called him safe. Oh my God. All right, sorry, folks. This is a big deal. All right, we only got one team left, and it's the Sox. Okay, we're just gonna focus on it for a little bit.
Let me ask you something though here.
Sure.
I don't want anybody to go out there and be like, "Oh, I got to start Mac Jones this week." But like, if you had to, you needed to stream somebody. It's like you're looking at Geno Smith, you're looking at Jimmy Garoppolo, you're looking at Justin Fields.
Sure.
You're looking at Jared Goff, maybe even Derek Carr, Daniel Jones. Like, would you start Mac? I would probably start Mac Jones over like all of those guys, except maybe Carr.
Oh yeah, Derek Carr is most likely like a top 10, top 12 QB this week. I mean, Sam Darnold's been trashed since CMC's been gone. So I'm not starting him. Tua, I honestly, you just convinced me that I wouldn't start him, but I wouldn't get a piece of him anyways. Jameis Winston, I would consider starting for sure against Seattle.
Yeah,
Seattle's D is not good. Daniel Jones versus Carolina. I've gotten my heart broken once or twice by Daniel Jones this season.
Do you remember a couple of weeks ago when we said all those nice things about Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones? My dog was here and everything. Yeah, we're gonna forget that happened.
Ever since Hella approved Daniel Jones, he's gone to shit.
He gave me the paw. Little did I know she was actually like casting a spell on him.
She was putting a hux. What is it? A hux? A crux? What is it? I forget what it's called. A hex. That's what it is. A hex.
A hex on him, dude. I didn't know it. Sorry, Daniel.
What are you gonna do? There is one quarterback that I would consider, and it's gonna sound crazy. And it's Justin Fields. Against Tampa Bay's trash secondary. Now, would that be my first option? Absolutely not. I'm not saying
to go absolutely eaten alive by
that D line. Yeah, that's
Shaq Barrett. They're just gonna eat him for breakfast, bro. I don't know.
They very well could just skip out on the first meal of the day so they could eat him. Yeah, that's very much a possibility.
Fields on the menu for lunch, bro.
yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. And it's not like he's shown much, anyways. To be fair, it's fairly unimpressive so far. But
they're so run heavy, and you can't run against this team. So what happens when we have to like see him air it out?
Ugh.
We don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, he needs David Montgomery back too, man. To be honest with you, he needs that RB back.
Oh man.
Yeah, but Monty's like a game changer, bro. You don't think?
He definitely the end of last year in a few games, he was healthy this year. He's very good.
Yeah,
he's improved.
I think so too. All right, so we went through. I would say Matt Ryan, Justin Fields, Jameis Winston against Seattle. Is there another option that you would go with, or are you like staying away from like Jimmy G? Are you staying
Uh,
away? Are you staying away
well,
from Teddy Bridgewater versus Cleveland?
yeah, and
Okay.
Baker. I don't want either of them. I'd start Wentz.
Wentz, yeah, against San Francisco, yeah, I probably would too. But I'm just saying, there's like 4 or 5 QBs out this week, and it's not guaranteed that everyone has a backup. So I think it was
Yeah.
important we give a couple of options. Joe Burrow should be owned. If he's not, that's crazy. But Joe Burrow is going to keep airing the ball out, and they're going to keep doing that. They're going to keep doing that all season. He's throwing the ball. Statistically, it's not more and more. But I think as they get more comfortable, like this past week, they didn't have to put the ball in the air against Detroit. He only had 29 attempts against
He'll
Green
have to do it
Bay.
this week.
Yeah, against Baltimore, he's gonna have to do it. So, yeah, if you can get a piece of Joe Burrow, like statistically, like I said, completions and attempts, like the attempts haven't like risen every week. It's not like the AT&T bar, the Sprint bar we used to see all the time. But his points are getting. I mean, he's averaging over 20, dude. He in the last 3 weeks, he's been the QB8, the QB15, the QB11. The week before that, it was the 17. Like, that's significant for a dude that's coming off a major knee injury. He missed almost all of his. I mean, what was it? Half of his rookie year? It was like week 9 or something, 10.
That sounds about right. We can go
Yeah,
back and
I
look.
mean, it wasn't good. So it's significant to see him playing well, and I'm glad he is. Yeah. All right, cool. So Kev, any other questions about streams? I think we're good for I mean, we can talk a little bit maybe about like tight end streams. There's a lot of tight ends out this week. I don't know if we get once we talk about streams for running backs, it just turns into the waiver wire.
Yeah.
But as far as like streaming any tight ends, we'll go with tight ends real quick because you're not going to stream wide receivers and running backs. You're just going to pick them up. It's different. You're going to waiver them if you have a high waiver priority. When in regards to a tight end, you can probably wait. So anybody as far as tight ends go that you're either playing like almost weekly now, or you're streaming, like you're good to stream in week 7.
I mean, if Seals Jones hasn't been added, you gotta get him.
Yeah.
Other than that,
he's
man,
like a top 10 tight end right now.
It's just take a guess. I mean, are you gonna go? Cole Kmet had 5 targets last week. You're gonna try him. Mo Alley Cox, CJ Uzama. I mean, it's kind of brutal. It's brutal out there.
It's not great. Hunter Henry's a name that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Even
he
if he's getting
should be owned though, dude. He's 70.7. So
yeah, he should be.
yeah.
I'd agree. I have I have first priority in one of our leagues. I don't believe it's the league I'm in with you. I think it's a different league, but it's Zach Ertz, and I have number 1 priority. So I'm probably just going to go out and get him.
Yeah.
It makes most sense to me. But yeah, I mean, I'd love to go out and get one of these running backs or wide receivers, but yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to have to do. All right, let's get into the waiver priority. Why don't you go ahead and start us off? Who's somebody that you're looking to pick up, or you think others should if they're missing running backs or anything like that?
So someone that I picked up already in a few leagues before waivers was Rashad Penny. I saw that he was going to be coming off the IR this week. And Chris Carson, I don't know if he plays again this year. It's a neck injury. Those could be
saying though.
They don't really know.
Oh God!
I mean, it's a neck injury, man.
I know.
Play with it. But I mean, even if he comes back, this might be Penny's his last shot to finally be something.
Yeah.
Now Collins is banged up, so perfect recipe for Rashad Penny to actually come out and show why they drafted him.
Yep.
I mean, they haven't cut him yet. They kept
which is honestly amazing at this point.
They kept him over Alex Collins. at the
They did.
beginning of the year, and then they had to bring Collins back, obviously. But I mean, it shows they still have some degree of trust in him. So that's why I went and scooped him up to see what happens, especially if Carson ends up missing like extended time.
Yeah.
And even if Alex Collins isn't hurt, I think they could kind of form more of a timeshare. And Homer and DJ Dallas would become kind of just useless.
Okay.
But that's one guy that I was really looking at. Because I'm not gonna try to go get Dearness Johnson against Denver on a Thursday night when Nick Chubb's probably coming back soon. I don't think I would burn my a number one waiver claim on him. I'm fully expecting him to just be like a 1-game thing. I mean, yeah, you can have him on your bench in case Chubb gets hurt again, but this matchup on a Thursday night, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. There's probably another guy that I would rather pick up.
Who's that?
And he's next on the list. Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay.
Yeah, it looked like for a few weeks there it was Brandon Bolden getting some passing down work, and Ramondre really kind of took that over this week. He was getting passing down work. He ran for a touchdown. I think they're going to get him more and more involved as the year goes on. I think that's what they want to do and what they should do. And so I would probably rather have him over the Browns guys, just assuming he'll have a role for the rest of the year, whereas they won't if Chubb comes back.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. Ramondre, they obviously drafted him a little bit earlier because they loved his style of play.
Yeah.
He's a big, strong back. And he's being, like you said, he's being utilized in that passing game. He had 3 targets, 3 receptions for nearly 40 yards. Even 5 rushes for 23 yards. Like, those are important yards to Bill, and Bill will take heat in that. So yeah, that's definitely a guy that I'm probably going after as well if I need to.
Here, move 2. 3 targets does not sound like a lot, but that was tied for second on the team.
That's
I'm
crazy.
actually pretty surprised that Mac Jones only threw the ball 21 times in a game like that, but we were able to run successfully. So that means you probably maybe get a few more dump offs in a game where Mac Jones is throwing it more.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate that. And he was even, so by the way, in PPR he finished as the RB19 with 15 points. So if that doesn't tell you what a tough week it was for running backs, then I don't know. The split was crazy between like 5 and 10. Like the RB5 and RB10. It was just absolutely insane. So Ramondre,
Derrick Henry and everybody else is insane right now.
Yeah, no doubt at all. And I would say, I mean, man, like even for running backs, like Kenyon Drake is up there for me. Now I'm not going to get him, but we did talk about this last week where we don't know what that firing meant for Kenyon Drake. We didn't know what it meant for Josh Jacobs. So I think we might have gotten some confirmation that Kenyon Drake's still going to be a part of that offense, but I just don't know enough to play him if I have to this week. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm going out to play Kenyon Drake versus Philly. Like, I don't know if I'm making that move. Ramondre Stevenson versus the Jets. Yeah.
Situation. Given what some of these rosters are looking like.
Oh, it's bad.
Especially if you're in like a 14 teamer, or even like our league where you got 3 wide receivers and 2 flex spots, some teams are going to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, so you might have to start Drake. He is a little bit more owned than some of the other guys we mentioned, but if he's out there, he's definitely worth a shot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, some teams, like you said, are just going to have to. So that kind of rounds out 4 running backs for us, right? Darnell Johnson, Kenyon Drake, Ramondre Stevenson. Who was the other that we mentioned?
Penny.
Rashad Penny. Thank you. Is there a fifth guy that you're looking at and saying you'd be willing to go out and spend some fab on him? And if so,
I
who?
don't know.
Yeah, if it's fab, I'd probably be more willing than if it's
I don't
like
know
having to
how
burn a
much
waiver
we got,
claim.
you know?
Because
Sure.
I could
I still
probably
can't
get
sign in, by the
a
way.
guy like
Still
Demetric
cannot.
Felton,
Let me look much.
the other guy for the
Still
Browns.
cannot.
Probably a lot cheaper than you get
I'm
Dearness
setting.
Johnson. And he'll be more of the Kareem Hunt role to Johnson's Chubb
So
role.
upsetting.
And we know Hunt's going to be out.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Yeah, he's
longer
gonna
than
he
Chubb.
posted
So
stuff.
if he's not already
I'd
there.
probably throw a little bit
Go
at
back
him.
to
And then
go to new.
if you look at the last few games, the best looking runner for the Ravens is Devontae Freeman right now, as gross as that sounds.
Yep.
So if he's available, which he is, in a ton of leagues, he would not be a terrible fill-in this week, and maybe just to hold on your bench. Because Murray's hurt, and he's been bad. Lev Bell's now on the active roster, but he's plotting now. Freeman looks faster than Bell. I mean, he probably always has been from a raw speed standpoint, but I don't know if Bell is fast enough
How do I
to.
use Doc's healing?
He was always so patient, you know.
Easy answer.
Yeah.
He would just wait, and he would burst through the hole, and I just don't know if he has that ability anymore.
Okay. All right. And out of the 5 guys, do you have anybody that you're going to try to pick up? You don't have to tell me. We're in a couple of leagues together, so I'm not going to go out and
if
I mean, my
Ramondre
claims are shit. So
Ramondre was available, I'd definitely be looking for him.
Okay.
And I already grabbed Rashad Penny in a few leagues just to see how that all shakes out. But like I said, I don't think I'm going crazy on the Browns guys, assuming they would have ruled out Nick Chubb, like put him on the IR, like Hunt if his injury was that bad.
Play Rust, unfortunately.
Right.
I
So
think he comes back next week, and I don't really want to spend a whole ton of fab or a number one claim on Dearness Johnson for 1 week in what I think is not a great matchup on a Thursday night. So
let's see what this one says.
So yeah, I would probably pick the other 2 guys.
For Steam users, nothing we can do but wait. PC servers.
All right, cool. Before we continue with the waivers, we got a couple of guys that coming through. Bobby Joe and Corey Shea. What's up, fellas? Corey said better play Sanders this week because I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get the rock this week, I'll lose my shit. Hashtag run the ball. Yeah, he's an Eagles fan, so I was texting him over the weekend, and it's just like not good right now for the Eagles. It's just not good for Sanders. I mean, at this point, he was like a 10th round pick. It's not been good, but you see what happens when they run the ball. I mean, they like literally almost came back. So
he looked phenomenal, and then they would go away from it. They'd go away from it. I gotta say though, if there's any week where they should be able to run, it's against the Raiders. They're one of those teams that you can just run the ball on. And if Sirianni goes out there and just can't see that, or won't even attempt to do it, then there's serious problems there. And honestly, with most people's lineup situations, you're probably you're starting Miles Sanders. You're kind of stuck with him. So you better hope they figure it out this week.
Yeah, he's like a Miles Gaskin to me. Like, you're not dropping him. You may be afraid to play him, but you're not dropping him. You just can't. Like, if they're an RB1 or 2 on a team, like right now in the leagues I'm in, you're lucky enough to get a piece of fucking Larry Roundtree right now. So it's deep out there. Bobby Joe, he said Mike Williams is a bust now. No, he's not a bust, Bob. I know he's had he had a rough week.
Didn't he re-injure his knee?
No, he didn't. Did he?
I thought that's why he had a bad week. I thought he left the game for a little while because of that knee injury.
They're the punching bag. If anything goes wrong,
you could be right. I'm honestly not sure.
I feel like for Apex, for
example,
I'm trying to find that shit now.
He has some time to heal.
There is sometimes where it's like that, you know.
But no, definitely not a bust, Bob. I wouldn't worry too much about Mike Williams. To be fair, I tried to trade for him earlier, Bob, and you said no. You said no. No, I would have had to offer way too much. That we were never going to get a deal done. But yeah, Mike Williams is still going to be. Would you say top 10 still? Like, you still think he's going to be top 10 PPR?
I would say he should be a wide receiver 1 at least.
Okay.
Right. I mean, what has he had? 2 bad games out of 5 or 6 now? Yeah, I think
give or take.
so. Right here it says, I was concerned Williams would either serve as a decoy or suffer a further injury. Both seem to happen in this game. So I definitely think, he played just 20 of 58 snaps. He left the game for a bit, eventually returned, but so I think that knee was bothering him. He gets a week to rest it up. Well, if he's back 100%, I think he's going to keep seeing the kind of volume he's been getting.
Okay.
They clearly
I'm not too.
they get blown out.
Yeah, right. That was just a terrible game, so don't worry about it. That whole team was a bust on Sunday. Oh, I didn't see, how did Eckler do, because I know he's the number 2 on the year right now. He did.
He had 9 points.
Oh God. Oh, I didn't even. My computer's running so slow. I need a desktop.
It was just a bad day at the office for that whole team.
Yeah. So don't worry about him, Bob. All right, let's continue with the waivers. Let's get right into some wide receivers, Kev. Anybody on your list that you're targeting that's I would say anywhere under like 60% at this point, you kind of have to target those guys, right?
Right.
Yeah, is there one guy in your mind that you're looking to get that's still out there?
For me, it's the guy.
I mean,
I've been stashing from the beginning on IR, and Rashad Bateman.
Okay.
My guy Rashad. 6 targets in his first career game. All 4 of his catches went for first downs. I mean, that shows a clear degree of trust, right?
Yeah.
Him and Lamar, like they seem to already be on the same page. I think you got to add him. And against Cincinnati, I think you can play him as a flex with what we got going on here. Bipocalypse, injury, apocalypse, everything combining. I think Cincinnati's a beatable defense. And Lamar's he's throwing more than he ever has.
Yeah.
So,
which is crazy because he led the league in passing yards his rookie year.
Right. He's out there slinging it around. His pass rate, career high. So, I mean, Bateman, Hollywood, Mark Andrews, I think they can all be supported with that going on. And I think the fact that they don't have Dobbins is the reason why. They don't have a running back who makes much of a difference. So it's either Lamar's running or we're slinging it around. But I think you have to add Bateman for sure if you haven't already. What do you think, Moose? Who do you like this week?
Yeah, first off, love Rashad Bateman. For me, as crazy as this may sound, man, and it's not if you have an immediate need, but I think it's important to get your hands on a piece of Michael Gallup if you can. He is designated to return, right? And to my knowledge, will probably be back after the bye week, right? After this week, he'll come back week 8.
I would hope so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It looks like he's gonna be good to go. I think my point here is that if you can grab him and keep him on the IR until week 8, then I don't know why you wouldn't. I would want a piece of that offense any way I can get it. They're just Dak's playing so well right now, dude. And Michael Gallup coming back, it worries me for Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Not to the point where I would like trade them now as high as you can. Like I don't think I'm quite saying that yet. Maybe Amari, definitely not CeeDee Lamb. I don't think at this point you can trade him. I mean, you can trade him high. Like if you have no running backs, if your number 1 running back is like Chase Edmonds, then yeah, I would probably trade CeeDee Lamb because your wide receivers are probably stacked. But in any case, yeah, I want a piece of Michael Gallup, man. He's 49% owned. For me, I'm not quite sure if he's my number 1 ad because there is one particular league where I am either playing Amon-Ra St. Brown or Nyheim Hines, and I don't mind playing Amon-Ra. He's another name we should probably talk about, but yeah, I'm trying to get my hands on Michael Gallup if I can in the next few weeks. Now, I'm not in any leagues where he's available. Like, it's just not. We have IR spots everywhere, but not every league is like that. So if you can go out and get yourself a piece of Michael Gallup, do it. And
Yeah.
I know he wasn't even on our list, but I just wanted to mention that it's good to keep your eye on guys on waivers that are coming back in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. Like, don't think the season is over if you lose just 1 week. It's different if you're 1-5. Don't get me wrong. You need a guy that you can plug in immediately. He's not it, but keep an eye on him. Otherwise, Kev, give us another name that you can plug in immediately. And it's a good ad if you need somebody, for this week, for week 7.
Yeah, and I like that call though on Gallup. I do have him stashed in my IR.
Do you? Yeah.
Just
Fucker.
because they're playing great football right now.
Yeah.
Any piece of that is good. And so I'm gonna give a big shout out to Rye here. It's too bad he can't come on and talk about his boy. But we gotta bring up Donovan Peoples-Jones, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean,
He
yeah,
had himself a day, and it finally happened for Rye. Everything he said, it came true now.
yeah.
It came true. We can't roast him anymore. It's happened. And Beckham, he might not even play. He was second behind Beckham in targets, and he caught like a Hail Mary style touchdown, and then another touchdown, 4 for 101 and 2. I gotta say, if you're in a tough spot, I think he's someone you can plug in this week. Especially, definitely if Odell doesn't go, then he would be a priority. Plug him into the flex if you need to.
Without a doubt.
I don't think Denver has a bad defense, but they certainly didn't look good against the Raiders. But I think, Baker should be able to make some stuff happen at home. So he would be next on my list, probably behind Bateman and Gallup.
All right. I don't hate that. Again, I don't even know if this guy's on our. We have a very short list here, and wide receivers are not aplenty. But the other guy I wanted to talk about real quick is, first off, your boy. I've made trades for him. I've traded him. He's a guy that I think you can plug and play immediately this week, especially. Like, if you're looking for some big output and this guy's not available in your league for some reason, this is the guy you need. And for me, it's Darnell Mooney. The guy, first off, is getting targeted on average like 6 or 7 times a game. And they're going against a team where they're going to have to throw the ball. It doesn't matter what Justin Fields is going to do. He's going to have to get Darnell Mooney the ball against Tampa Bay, and that backfield is just atrocious. It was another pedestrian showing from the Bears this past weekend, but Mooney scored a touchdown. And I think we had a couple of questions about Mooney. I said you can go ahead and play him. Now, was it fantastic? No, it was nothing short of what you expect at a wide receiver too, I would say, right? But that's pretty good for him. It was his second highest finish of the year at wide receiver 21. 8 targets, 5 receptions, 45 yards, and a tutty. Keep the change. How are you? Darnell Mooney should be in your lineups this weekend.
I got him in my lineup against you.
Trash bag. Oh, you're gonna crush me. Oh wait, you're gonna crush me.
You have a little bit of a bye week issue. It's only Lamb though. A lot of your team is still all right. But yeah, man, I didn't put Mooney on the list because on ESPN he shows at 53.5, but it's definitely like that's borderline. We can talk about him for sure. If he is available in those shallower leagues out there, you should scoop him up. He seems to be the number 1 receiver there now. I mean, I don't want to exaggerate, but he's scoring more points than Allen Robinson is. So we'll take that for what it is. He 5 for 125 2 weeks ago, 5 for 45 and a tug on 8 targets this week. He's definitely eaten, and like Moose said, Tampa is decimated at corner. They had to go out and sign Richard Sherman off the street. It was that bad, and then he got hurt. So
yeah,
it's not great. It's not great out there. My one worry for Mooney is that it's just an absolute bloodbath out there for Fields.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't at all.
He's running for his life, but in any kind of scenario where he does connect on some shots, I think Mooney is definitely a solid wide receiver 3 flex play this week for sure, and he should be owned in all leagues. At the very least, he should be owned.
Oh yeah, I mean to me, it's not even a question anymore if he should be owned. Like,
Right.
you know what though? I guess it can be because we forget sometimes, Kev, that these some fantasy players play in 8-team leagues and they're just doing it for fun. Some people don't even do it for money. You know what I mean? Like, it took me a long time to start putting money into it. So, in those types of leagues, I can certainly get why somebody wouldn't own him. But otherwise, he should be owned and he should be in your lineup.
Sure.
All right, now we got to talk about your boy. I'm sure we have a couple more on the list, but I really want to talk about a tight end, one specifically that you love. And we mentioned him a little bit earlier, but I still think it's important that he's talked about because Kev, he's 25% owned across the board in all leagues.
Those numbers got to come up, man.
Those are rookie
numbers.
Got to
come up.
those are rookie numbers, as
That's disrespectful.
The Wolf of Wall Street would say. So yeah, talk about him, man. Go off.
Ricky Seals-Jones, my man. He's playing all the snaps. That's crazy. 99%, 100% of the snaps last week.
Wow.
Yeah. 9 targets, 6 targets. This week he got the touchdown. He gets another decent matchup against Green Bay. They're kind of been weak to tight ends. He's got to be owned. I don't know why he wouldn't be already. Logan Thomas was doing damage. He was behind McLaurin. He was their next best target, and that's what we got going on right now. Heineke already has a rapport with him. It's clear 2 weeks in a row. So, and especially another game where it's going to be a negative game script. They're going to put the ball in the air against Green Bay. So if he's out there and you need a tight end, if you don't have a tight end named Kelsey, maybe Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, then you're looking for Ricky Seals-Jones. I mean, Darren Waller, who's been a disappointment, but I mean, you got to start him. But there's not that many more options that I would play over Ricky Seals-Jones.
There's not. There's one name I don't think I would consider, but if you're in a 14-team league, if you're in a really deep league, or if you're in a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex tight end league, and you have some guys on buys, you might have Jared Cook on a buy, you might have Dalton Schultz on a buy. Another name, and if Ricky Jones is like all those, Dawson Knox. I mean, the list is almost endless. I even know some people that are playing Ty Conklin. I wouldn't, but another name too, just for this week, Kev, is Evan Ingram. That I mean, you got C.J. Board, you got Kadarius Toney, you got Darius Slayton. They have nobody to catch the ball. I mean, Shepard's going to be out there, and Shepard's been my boy all year long. And in our legacy league, he's been handling business for sure. But they're going to have to throw the ball to somebody. And Evan Ingram, just for this week, I'm not saying he'll be top 10. I'm just saying he'll probably get some targets. He was targeted 5 times last week, 4 the week before. It may not be pretty. I'm not saying I like it, but I'm saying it's an option.
I would say if it's one of those situations where it's either fucking Evan Ingram or you're taking a 0 at the position. You gotta go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I think depending
I
on,
would probably still start him over a CJ Uzomah, but I'd have to be really desperate because even with all these receivers being hurt, he hasn't done anything. Oh
yeah, no. I mean, this is too. This is too for guys that own George Kittle and picked up Dalton Schultz or Dawson Knox weeks ago. These are guys that absolutely.
It is hurting for certain out there.
Yeah. So I mean, as much as I hate to say the words Evan Ingram, and as much as I absolutely do not trust him with my entire life, unfortunately, it's just a part of what we're doing this week with the Bipocalypse. All right. Any other names? Do you want to talk? I know we said. Listen, I'm all off of the Cleveland train as well. Anybody else that comes to mind that should be picked up that can be started? There's probably one more wide receiver for me, but anybody that you can think of?
I'll bring up the guy Rye was talking about earlier. It's gross as well. But like you said, I mean, Daniel Jones is going to have to throw the ball to somebody, right?
Oh, boy.
Dante Pettis is back.
Oh, no. Can we
He's on
not?
an NFL, he's on an
Can we
NFL
not?
roster, Moose.
I
Did
don't
you
wanna
know?
do this. I'm
Did
out.
you know
I'm
he's
out.
back?
Dude, what did I text you guys? I said this guy's still in the fucking league. I couldn't
The
believe
Kyle
it.
Shanahan experience went very wrong with him. So is Brandon Ayuk going to be the next Dante Pettis? Probably. Sad, I know. But anyway, he had 11 targets.
That's insane.
11.
That's insane.
That's how desperate they are.
That's so.
That's
crazy.
and yeah, Tony's not gonna play, dude. It's gonna be Shepard, Dante Pettis, Colin Johnson.
Who?
Colin Johnson. You got me. You heard me right. That's gonna be the next. That's the third guy there right now.
Honest to God, I have no idea who that is.
And you know who came in even behind them in targets? John Ross.
Oh my
Another
God.
legendary bust.
Oh, hey, he was legendary for like a 5-week run though.
Right, wasn't it the beginning of last year, or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago, dude.
We had a few.
No,
really
I can't
nice
remember,
games.
dude, because
It was the beginning of last season.
Maybe but wasn't no, it couldn't have been because T. Higgs was not there.
Yeah, it had to have been 2 years ago then.
Because it was at Cincy. It was definitely 100% 2 years ago. Yeah, that's right. Legendary run, like Jeremy Lin status.
Oh God,
like Jeremy Lin, dude, hard in the paint. Yeah, I think the only other name I would mention is Amon-Ra St. Brown, 18% owned.
He's on the list. Forgot we didn't talk about him yet, but we talked about him last week, and he should definitely be owned.
We've I think been talking about him since week 4.
The team is tracked, but he will end up being their number one option behind Hawkinson and Swift.
Yeah, I mean at this point he may be Goff's go-to guy over Hawkinson, dude. Like
yeah, I mean not this past week, but the week before maybe was. They're both getting looks.
Yeah. Hawkinson should always be getting looks. But 11 targets this past week. That's insane.
He came back. Came back to this planet for a little while.
He did. Thank the good Lord. And without a touchdown too. If he had a touchdown, he would have had a fucking day. But yeah, this Rams Detroit game, man, this is a revenge game for both quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford going against his old team in Detroit, and we got Jared Goff, who really should be the one with the chip on his shoulder. I've even thought about what's the spread?
15.5
for the Rams.
15.5.
Are you taking the Lions in that? Like I'm almost like
no, not even close. No, give me the Rams by 30, dude. It's literally going to be like 48-10. I don't see it going any other way.
You think Matthew Stafford's just going to like...
He is going to light it up.
Because he just could... Dude, I mean, that organization nearly ruined his life.
All about, like, I saw this game and I was just like, Rams by 1 million. I didn't even think about that narrative, bro. They're not going to stop talking about it, first of all, during the broadcast.
No.
And second of all, Matthew Stafford is just going to go scorched earth. That's gonna, oh my God.
Saying?
Dude, he has fucking like 12 years of frustration to take out on these guys. Are you kidding me?
True, he does.
Oh,
he does. He really does, though.
One on the week. Like that's it.
No.
Done deal.
Oh, no, dude. Jared Goff might die. He might just...
Yeah, he might not. Aaron Donald might just...
Is that at Los Angeles too? Oh, yeah, they're done
at
for.
Los Angeles.
You know what? I kind of wish it was at Detroit though.
Just so he can do it on that field one more time.
Yeah. Dude, remember when he like pulled his like arm out and he was like, I got it, I could do it, and he like went out there and won the game, like, and his arm was like hanging off.
Yeah,
it was like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in sports. Honest to God, I was like, that guy.
One little piece of string hanging.
It was so bad. I think he like immediately went to the hospital. Like
he looked like a marionette, bro.
It was so bad. That's a big word for you. That's culture right there. That's what you get here at the Fantasy Dads. If you're still with us, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to share the shit. We did get another question from Tony Kane. Sorry, Tony, just saw your message. My Facebook's slow as hell because the new system sucks. Would you trade Swift for Chubb half PPR? No, I don't think I would at this point. Would you?
I don't think so. Chubb, I think he comes back next week, but is still a little uncertain. And Swift is definitely more useful in any kind of PPR format right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's like one of the main featured guys of that offense. I realize Chubb is too, but I mean, DeAndre Swift he's been good.
He's
I guess
eating in the passing game, bro. That's the difference between the two.
he is. But do you think DeAndre Swift will finish above Chubb in a half PPR? Because that I'm not so sold on.
I do.
You do.
Chubb has missed a couple games, so
Now, if you could get somebody like, if you traded DeAndre Swift for Nick Chubb, would you try to get like a Swifty wide receiver with him? Would you, if you got like a top 30 wide receiver, would you do it? Top 40 wide receiver?
I don't know if someone would give up Chubb plus to get Swift, but at that point it would become more of a deal. But I just don't know what kind of pieces people are willing to give up.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure either. Like if I could go out and get a Sterling Shepard and
If you could get Chubb and
Chubb.
Shepard,
Like what about Rashad?
Bateman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd just rather have Swift.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I think Chubb will finish above Swift in a half PPR, but I don't necessarily know if I would trade for him, Tony, because I mean you're gonna have those games where like, I mean Chubb looked hurt and the other week, and he's obviously not in a good place right now. And I think the Browns are gonna have to throw the ball a lot to catch up later in the season after all these injuries subside. So, yeah, I'd probably hold off for now. I mean, Swift is, I mean, damn, he's been good, man. He's what, the number 7 on the year right now? That's significant, right? That like I know that's PPR, but shit, that's tough. No, I'd go with no for now. Not this week. Trade way lower for Chubb. Like if Chubb gets put on the IR or something, well, he's not going to get put on the IR, is he?
I think they would have done it already, but we thought that about McCaffrey too.
That's true.
His shit wasn't healing the way they thought it was, I guess. So they put him on the IR. I mean, I guess that could happen. Uh-oh. Can't hear you, Moose.
My bad. Accidentally pressed my mute button. I'm gonna say no solely due to the fact that you can trade lower for Chubb at this point. I do think that. Listen, I looked up Nick Chubb today, looked up news and articles just to see what I could find, and almost every single article is about how he's a trade for low candidate, which in my eyes is crazy. Like I don't think I would trade low for him, but yeah. All right, so we move on. Let's do a couple of buy low, sell highs real quick, and then let's end the show out. If you're still with us, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and get us out there. All right, let's go. Buy low, sell high. We're gonna call this rise or sinker though. So really, it's all right. So we're not doing buy low, sell high. We're doing risers and sinkers in your rankings. Sorry, I had both things written down, and it's like a teleprompter. I'm like Ron Burgundy. Stay classy, San Diego. Keep the fucking change. All right, rise or sinker. Give us your sinker first, Smirks, for the rest of the season. Not necessarily somebody that you're done with, but definitely somebody that has taken a dip in your rankings. Give us the who and the why.
It's not like a huge dip. But I definitely got to move Hollywood down a few pegs.
Okay.
Just the fact that I think Rashad Bateman has what it takes to be like a true alpha receiver in the league.
You do.
I mean, first game already coming in, commanding the same amount of targets. In a game where they didn't really even have to throw the ball. I mean, they blew them out. Game wasn't close.
Significantly.
I mean, he threw the ball 27 times, which is still a lot. But I just think in a closer game, tighter game script kind of game, where his passing attempts are even higher. To me, Bateman had one more target than Hollywood did in his first game. So I think he's gonna, outpace him every week. No, probably not, because Hollywood's been great. But it's just another mouth to feed. That it's not like a Devin Duvernay. It's not, Miles Boykin. This is a real receiver. They drafted this kid for a reason. He's a stud out of Minnesota. So I do think you got to move Hollywood down a few pegs. Also, Mark Andrews been playing out of his mind the last 4 weeks.
It's finally coming to fruition for people that drafted him in the first 5-6 rounds.
He's a monster out there. 3 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. So to me, if you could have, I still think he'll have some big games, but if you could have sold high on Hollywood after his last blow up, that might have, you could have gotten someone like, if you could have bought low on like a CeeDee Lamb for Hollywood at that point, which I don't think anybody would do. You never know, though. After 9 for 125 and 2 in that Indy game, somebody out there, you might have been able to get someone better than Hollywood after that game. And now I think I got to move him down a few spots in my rankings.
Sad. Still a sell high candidate. 1 week's not going to change that for me, but yeah, agreed. All right, we'll go with my sinker. This one hurts because I own him in a few leagues, and it's Tyler Lockett. And I think there's a very clear explanation as to why, Kevin. And it's because Geno Smith is the quarterback in Seattle. And to be fair, too, Lockett hasn't been good since the first 2 weeks. He was the wide receiver 7 and then the wide receiver 2, scored 26 points and then 32 points. Since then, he's seen a significant drop in most games in his targets, and the yardage is just not there. Over 100 yards the first game, 2 touchdowns. You can't beat that. 178 yards the second game and a tutty. Since then, he hasn't scored a touchdown, and he's averaged less than 57. He's just gotten less than 57. He's averaged less than 35 yards a game. He's significantly dropping in my rankings, and it's not slow either. It's a fast drop for me for Tyler Lockett. It's unfortunate because first off, wicked awesome dude. It was a lock for me in round 5 and above. Like, if he was around in round 5 or above, it was significant. But for me, he was a top 20 wide receiver. Now he is not. I would be surprised at this point the way some of these wide receivers are playing if he finishes in the top 25, top 30. Until Russ comes back, I don't think anything's good gonna happen for him. Listen, I'm even worried about DK Metcalf being top 10. And that's saying a lot. And I didn't originally, I think I had Metcalf finishing at 10, but it wasn't due to an injury to Russell Wilson. It was just because I thought they were going to run the ball more, but now their running back stink. So, so yeah, Tyler Lockett, unfortunate. Let's get your riser, Smirks. Who's your riser? Who do you like? A riser, more significantly, is somebody I would say you're trying to go after in some leagues if it's necessary. Who you got?
Good night, buddy. Love you. For me, it's Daryl Henderson. RB13 on the year right now. He missed a game. He hasn't had less than 15.7 PPR points. That was week 1. He's only getting better. And now, the schedule is an absolute dream. Oh, my partner's back.
Hey, hella.
Not the co-host.
Daryl Henderson, hella approved. Let's go.
We talking Daryl Henderson today. What's up? She don't like it. She disagrees.
She knows about the hex.
Detroit, Houston, Tennessee, San Francisco. And then after the bye, there's a game against Jacksonville, Seattle. It's just great. He's on one of, if not the best offenses in football, and they're feeding him like he's their premier back right now. Coming into the year, we weren't high on him, and I think he finishes higher than where he's at right now, RB13. So I'm gonna bring him up the ranks. I think he can be top 7 especially with all these injuries.
Yeah.
Top 7 or 8 for sure with that schedule.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that call at all. In fact, Kev, I almost like it. I almost
Fucking
like
love
it.
bro.
Yeah, no,
Better.
Daryl Henderson is definitely a trade target for me. Just based off of how good that offense is. Like, honestly, dude, he's gonna open up the field. Most backfields they're playing are gonna be so worried about somebody dropping one. I mean, they got to worry about Deshaun Jackson. Never mind, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee. It's just insane. So yeah, I think that's a fantastic call. For me, my riser, just off of what we saw this last weekend. Originally, I was going to talk about Marvin Jones because I did have Marvin over LaVisca the rest of the year. But for me, it's Jaylen Waddle, man. He had an absolutely fantastic week last week. Tua clearly loves to target him. 13 targets. That's the second game this year he's had 13 targets, and they were good. 2 touchdowns, wide receiver 4 finish, man. That's his second top 20 finish, and he's finished top 25 in PPR now 3 times, which is significant. I know it's been spotty, but like let me ask you this, Kev, because I don't know if you agree with that or not, with Jaylen Waddle, but I think we all seem to be fairly high on him. I only got one piece of him this year, so wasn't much. I took a lot of Devontae Smith. Speaking of those two, rest of the season, who would you like, Devontae Smith or Jaylen Waddle? It's a tough one.
Like right now, I'm not really looking at their strength of schedule, but just with the way Jalen Hurts and that offense has been operating, I'm gonna go Waddle. He's clearly the best receiver on that team. But,
Yeah.
I mean, Smith is too, but I'm not sure if the connection is there. Tua and Waddle, they got that connection. And so I would definitely put Waddle a few spots ahead of Smith now. I saw some good games on Waddle's schedule. I can go peep Devonta Smith real quick. But I would say just the sheer volume he's going to get without anybody else there. Will Fuller, who knows if he ever comes back. Broke his finger, but he'll come back and it'll be something else.
Yeah.
Parker, he's not the same.
He's
so Mike
not the
Gesicki
same.
is like his number one competition for targets.
Which is fairly significant. And you do have to think too, like, even with Ertz gone, there's still a significant share of targets going around for, the receivers. And I mean, Quez Watkins still getting tons of targets, man. Like, it doesn't make much sense to me. So looking back at that, yeah, it's tough because I probably could have taken Jaylen Waddle. I forget what his ADP was, but it was probably a little bit later than Devontae.
It's going to be really tight based on the schedule. They're both going to end up being their team's clear number one target. But I'm just going to say with what we saw with the connection with Tua this past week, I'm going to lean Waddle a little bit. Just doesn't seem like Jalen Hurts can get the ball to Smith as consistently.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I would go Waddle rest of the season over him too. All right, great. Well, Kev, listen, we went over just about an hour. I think that's all I have for today. Anything else you have? Any other targets? Anything we didn't talk about that you'd like to bring up?
Not, man. I think we're good. I think we got it covered.
Okay. All right. Tips for waivers tonight. We realize that a lot of you guys have bye weeks. The bye-pocalypse pretty much is this week. As far as other bye weeks go, I know this is the most significant one. Then we have week 9. We have 4 teams out. Week 10, 4 teams out. 13 and 14. But this is the most significant week, and these teams that are out this week, they obviously mean a lot to a lot of you guys. So what I'm going to say is don't freak out about the waivers this week. I wouldn't even say spend all your fab. If you're in a good position, you're over 500, you have a high percentage to make the playoffs, don't freak out, because there's still going to be guys left on waivers after this, right? So you're still gonna have to use a waiver claim in most cases, but depending on your fab, dude, I know kids that like don't have fab anymore, which is insane to me. Hell, is that crazy or what? Yeah, see, she said, yeah, that's crazy, boy. Ain't no way, boy.
What? I
No
probably
way.
would have ran out of all my fab already.
Do you know in our dynasty league I've spent $1?
Yeah, there's nobody out there, dude. That's why. Like, I have so much money left.
Did you see the other day I dropped Poyer? What's his first name? Jordan Poyer?
Poyer.
Someone spent $51 to pick him up. I thought that was insane.
Well, you know, didn't he go out and got an interception though?
I think he might have, but he was doing shite all before that.
Right.
So yeah, I was like,
getting used to the whole IDP thing too.
Oh, I've been doing some research, boy.
Uh-oh.
I've been doing some research, boy.
Yeah, buddy.
That's fantastic. IDP is a different game. Any waiver questions you guys have before the end of the night, feel free to DM me or Kev. Leave something on any of our posts. We'll see it. But otherwise, good luck to everybody on the waiver wire. Week 7 is going to be a tough one. Just remember, stay calm, stay collected. Everything's going to be fine. We're not even halfway through the season yet. So, just keep calm and collected and everything will work out, hopefully, or it won't. That's kind of fucking how fantasy goes. So, plenty of my teams are in both positions. But I still have waiver anxiety because of Justin Jefferson last year. So I really haven't made any moves. I'm usually Mr. Move. Like I'll make tons of moves. I'll jump on the first guy, all that shit, but I'm just not doing it this year. I can't, I'll lose my shit. So, all right, Kev, well, listen, great show. Fantastic talking with you again, buddy. If you guys all joined in and you are still with us, thank you very much. We know it was a longer show, but this was an important one. This was an important one. So, me and Perks, Dan will be back on Thursday for the pregame. Who we got Thursday night? Cleveland
and Denver.
Cleveland, Denver. Okay, so it's a toilet bowl, but that's fine. We'll have fun.
Hey, Moose, real quick though. Like you said about not freaking out about the waiver situation. If somebody in your league does freak out to try to field a full lineup on this bipocalypse, just look out for who's getting dropped. You know, if it's somebody that's hurt or somebody on a bye that probably shouldn't be getting dropped, but somebody, you know, they got to field the lineup because they don't want to take zeros. Just look out for who gets dropped. These are the kind of weeks where people might make some mistakes.
A lot of borderline players. I would say, as much as I hate it, Myles Gaskin will probably be available in a lot of leagues. I'm trying to think of others like maybe Trey Sermon. Maybe Trey Sermon will be available in a lot of leagues, and I'm not saying to jump on him, but it could. I mean, you know how people are.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, listen. Good luck tonight in waivers, Kev. Great show, buddy. And I will. I'll talk to you on Sunday, man. Thursday night. Don't forget. Come enjoy the show. Pre-game 7:00.
All right, brother. Have a good